Hey everyone, I'm Matt Cremona.
And I'm Matthew Morris.
And welcome back to the Matt and Matthew Show. We're back again with Chris Vesper. Say hi, Chris.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Chris has been kind enough to offer to share his shop with us. He's going to take us around, show the progression of how the tools get made in his shop, all the big machinery he has. It looks awesome. Chris, what are we looking at here?
Well, welcome to my workshop, guys. This is really where it all happens. I have my workshop set up into a couple of sections. I have, where I'm standing now is the sort of heavy engineering department. I have surface grinding and milling and a few other processes going on here. As I move around to that side of things, I'll show you guys in a minute, it gets a bit more precise. I have high-end tool room lathe and some precision measuring equipment, and my laser marking department is over there. And everything starts off over the other side of the workshop where all the dust and stuff happens in the woodworking section. So what we're looking at here is my big green Jacobson, which is a Danish built surface grinder. This machine is one of my better machines to own. I'm very lucky to have this machine. It's a beautiful thing to use. And every single blade that I make has been ground on this machine. So that beautiful surface finish you see on all the stainless steel blades and all my tools, this is the machine responsible for that. And over this side, sitting through here, we have the turret mill and a whole bunch of tooling and stuff that I use with that machine. That's what I make a lot of the brass components on. I've got a couple of presses here that I use for various things. This little machine here is a Deckel FP1 milling machine. It's a beautiful little German built thing, and it's a very, very accurate milling machine, and it's the machine that I use for the last process in manufacturing my tri-squares. The slot here that I talked about in the previous video has to be machined to a very precise depth, and also it goes without saying it has to be square, doesn't it, now we're making squares. So this is the machine I do this on. This at the moment is set up for the 4-inch tri-squares. It's got the correct slitting saw blade on it. I was only machining a batch of these yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I'm due now to pull this one out and set up for making my 10-inch squares. Okay, as we continue around my workshop, we're getting into what I call the laser laboratory. Doesn't everyone have a laser in their workshop? I don't know, or is that just me? Over here on the right we have my beautiful little precision tool room lathe. This is modelled off a hard-hinge tool room lathe. It's a pretty well-known design of the machine, and it's just a beautiful thing to use. I'm very lucky to have this machine. It's a Taiwanese built one, but it was built a few years after they started knocking off the American version. And it was when they'd worked out how to build them well. This is a good machine, it definitely is. Super accurate thing. I don't use this machine for production. I use it for prototype work, or perhaps a bit of jobbing work if anything weird and unusual comes in. It's a very good machine to do that on. For production work, say the brass locking knobs on my sliding bevels for instance, I make no secret of the fact that I get that jobbed out, because I haven't got time to stand in front of a machine and make 500 of the same brass knob. As we walk through this way, you can see I have a Hardness Tester here, which is not something I use every day, that's for sure, but it's a very, very handy thing to have in a tool room. Over here we have a profile projector. This is something that I use in conjunction with the laser, perhaps when I'm doing my double square ruler calibrations. So you can set up on this to calibrate from the end of a ruler to the first marking, and then set up to check off each marking in a linear scale to ensure that everything is in fact what it should be. And heading over here, this is the laser marker itself. This is what I use for marking my double square blades. All the Signature Series tools get marked on this. It's basically a laser up there that happens to be sitting on a bed of an old milling machine, and the computer there to drive it. It's a bit of an antique as far as lasers go, but it works just fine, and a very handy thing to have next to my laser marker is a microscope. Believe it or not, you need to be able to zoom in and look at the fine details of what you're doing when you're adjusting the settings. coming back out this way, we can walk through under the stairs here through to the woodworking department. So this is where all the dust and mess happens, very well divided off from the laser lab. So I have a docking saw there, a belt sander, we have got the big beast double end pattern maker's disc sander, I've got that little horizontal borer here, some book presses. Now the book presses, I actually use these when I clamp my timber infills in. The infills are a very tight fit, and once you've applied the glue and actually got them to fit in the pocket, they then need to be held in a press to clamp them down flat and to the proper depth. So I use the book presses for that. Coming around here is more into the general assembly and woodworking area. So I have a couple of workbenches here. The workbench on the left there being my show bench. The front of that has my logo engraved on it, and it all looks very pretty on the front, not so much here on the back. That's the one I take around to all the shows in Australia. And my other bench here at the moment with a whole bunch of tools in progress. So what we're looking at here is 4-inch brass tri-squares. These have got the timber infill in them, and there's going to be a couple of signature series tools in here. You can see hairy oak infill, boxwood, lace she oak, and 10,000-year-old black red gum, ringed gidgee, and rosewood there on the end. And then across here I have in progress a number of matched sets of 3. These tools have all the infills cut from the one piece of timber, and they are sold as a set of 3, and they truly are a match set. There's a lot of work that goes into keeping them as a set through the workshop processes. A large disc sander like this, you might not think it's something that a toolmaker making small tools would use, but it is an amazingly handy machine. I actually use this quite a lot when I need to flush off stainless steel pins and screws and stuff like that, flush them down to the metal surface below. This is just the perfect machine for it, and it is a beast.
So thanks so much for showing us around, Chris. That was really interesting.
Yeah, the shop's gorgeous. It's absolutely amazing, Chris. You have a great place there. And I'm really looking forward to maybe one day in the future, if I'm ever so lucky, being able to visit. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, obviously.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure to show you around my workshop. As you can see, I put a lot of work into what I do, and it's really nice to be able to show it to people that appreciate that. I'd love to have you down here sometime. It's only a 14-hour flight from California, I think. You'll be right.
Wow, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. So, Chris, again, where can everybody find you?
My website, vespertools.com, is the best place to have a look through my entire product range and purchase the tools that I make. Also, I recommend Instagram, actually. It's a very good place to check out photos of perhaps work in progress or little videos of my machines running, stuff like that. I post virtually every day on that.
Right, and they can even call you as long as it's during working hours in Melbourne, right?
Yes, Melbourne local time. Give me a call. If you want to call me from overseas, I'm always up for a chat. Strangely enough, it doesn't happen that often though. If you call me at 1 in the morning or something, I probably won't be too happy about it.
Awesome. And guys, if you're looking for me, you can find me over at mmwoodstudio.com. And Matt?
You can find me and everything I do over at mattcremona.com.
So as always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. And Chris, again, thank you so much. This was just an amazing couple of episodes and journey with you, so thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure having you around. Cheers.